Hey everyone, I'm Jill Barretto from Apex Electronics. We would like to thank you again for choosing the Apex Type A as your tDCS system. In this series of tutorials, we are covering everything you need to know to get started on your tDCS journey. Today, we are going to show you how to make saline solution for tDCS. As we explained on our tutorial on preparing electrosquare electrodes, check it out on our YouTube channel or on our website under the tDCS tutorials menu. The electrical current generated by the Apex is transferred through the sponge pads to you via the saline solution. Saline for tDCS should be saltier than the saline used for medical purposes. That is why we recommend you make your own saline. If you want to purchase pre-made saline, that's okay too, but you may have to add more salt to it so that it performs properly for tDCS. Another thing we mentioned on the electrosquare tutorial is that using electrode gel is generally not recommended for tDCS because it is too viscose. The sponge pads don't absorb it as easily as saline, and it's also messier and more expensive. You will need the following ingredients to prepare tDCS saline solution: a plastic or glass bottle with a watertight cap with about 16 ounces or 500 milliliter capacity, 1 tablespoon of sea salt, warm water, a funnel or a sheet of paper. We are using this fancy glass bottle here, but if you want, you can just use a normal disposable plastic water bottle. Just make sure you remove the label or put a sticker on it so that people don't take a mouthful of salty water accidentally. Take my word for it, it is not a pleasant experience. Now, we would like to clarify what type of salt you should use. The short answer is any salt is fine. Sea salt, pink salt, coarse salt, kosher salt, iodized salt, or Morton salt. Keep in mind, though, that lots of these have anti-caking agents added in. It's stuff they put in it so that it doesn't stick to your pan when you cook with it. So ideally, you should use pure sea salt like this. But if your skin can tolerate other salts without irritation, you can use any salt. And finally, the water. The best and most consistent results come from pure ingredients, so distilled water would be perfect. Personally, whenever I'm making saline, I just use hot water from my kitchen sink. Warm water allows the salt to dissolve more easily and quickly, but even that is not a specific requirement. It will just take longer if you use room temperature water. The first step is to pour the salt into the empty bottle. Use a funnel, or if you don't have one handy, use a sheet of paper. Once you do that, pour the water into the bottle, but don't fill it to the top. Leave some space so that we can have room for everything to mix. Having an actual funnel comes in handy here, but if you are careful, you can fill the bottle without too much hassle. Next, you can close the bottle and start mixing. Not too vigorously, as this will create very small bubbles that will make it difficult to see if all the salt has been dissolved. I personally like this motion. But if you're in a hurry, you will want to continuously turn the bottle until the solution is clear like this. The most important thing about making your own saline is to ensure all salt crystals are dissolved completely. If you pour saline with undissolved crystals, it may cause discomfort during the session. This amount of saline should last you weeks. You can store the bottle in the fridge if you want. Again, make sure you put a sticker on it indicating that it is saline water. Salt is a natural preservative, so there won't be too much bacterial growth for a while. If the water turns cloudy or you see stuff floating in it, discard and make a new batch. It is good to keep the solution in the fridge because when you add it to the electrosquare electrodes, it makes it easier to feel if you have good contact with your scalp. The coldness is a sure way to know you have enough saline in the pad for the session. As we mentioned in the electrosquare tutorial, the first time you soak the sponge pads, they will expand, and it may be easier to pour the excess saline over a bowl or a sink. You can even fill the bowl and submerge the electrodes in. For daily use of the Apex, you don't need that much saline. In fact, you can fill the bottle cap with saline to add to the pads before your session. Most of the time, you won't need more than that if you store the pads together like this. It prevents the saline from completely evaporating for a couple of days. Salt crystals on the sponge pads are not your friends, so you need to get rid of them. If the pads get completely dried out, rinse them completely with running water, preferably hot. After rinsing, add saline generously, then squeeze out the excess. Repeat that once or twice more to remove all the fresh water mixed with the saline, and you should be good to go again. Also, you'll want to do that every 5 to 7 days, because as you add more saline to the pads, they will become saltier over time. We have other tutorials on our site and on our YouTube channel, so check them out. There's one on troubleshooting common issues with your device, cleaning and maintaining it, how to start a tDCS session, and electrode placement. Everything you need to know is right there. We try to make this process as easy as possible for you. Again, if you have questions or need assistance setting up your Apex system, don't hesitate for a moment before calling support. We can be reached at 877-915-8327. That's 877-915-8327. You can also contact us through email at contact@apexdevice.net. That's contact@apexdevice.net. We are here to help. See you next time.